Thank you all so much for joining me tonight. We're going to talk about emotions and essential oils. This is absolutely one of my favorite topics to talk about because emotions, in my opinion, the root of most of our illness comes from unresolved emotions that we stuff in our body. So we're going to talk about how to kind of help move through them so they don't get lodged in our body and cause illness or dis-ease in the body. And before we get started, I'll just go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Glenda Robichaux. I'm a wellness advocate with doTERRA. I've been with doTERRA for 13 years. It's crazy to think it's been that long. I also have a background in energy healing. I'm certified in something called the Aroma Touch technique that was created by Dr. Hill with doTERRA. And I'm also doing something called emotion coaching, and I'm currently in training for that. But that kind of stems from where my passion is for helping people with emotions. And I just really, I also in 2017 got my master's in holistic health studies. So I just have a huge passion for helping people find a more holistic way of life and helping them find wellness and balance in their everyday lives. So, my question for you tonight is, are you ready to feel good more often? I think we all are. Our bodies are incredible, and we are created to function as a whole, our body, mind, and spirit. And our body is made up of lots and lots and lots of intelligent cells, and we're wired to restore health. Now, there's a few things that can kind of get in the way of that, and that's our emotions. So, emotions are actually chemical responses that occur in the body to both internal and external stimuli. And emotions carry information to our cells, and they react and bind to our cell receptors. So that means that our emotions actually get into our cells. So, like when I talk about unresolved emotions kind of being at the root cause of some of our illness, it's because they're actually this chemical response that's being carried throughout our body. And feelings, I think emotions and feelings kind of get confused sometimes. Feelings are our conscious experience that are sparked by emotions and can be shaped by our perception. So they're kind of two different things. And um, I have lots of notes in front of me because there's lots of things I want to pack into all of this. Starting with, if I back up a step, I wanted to give some statistics that are quite startling and have recently, this year, touched my life as well. Is that globally, suicide is the fourth leading cause of death for ages 15 to 29. And I recently had a dear friend who lost his son to suicide, and he was 16. 284 million people suffer from anxiety disorder worldwide. That's a lot of people with a lot of anxious feelings. And abuse is responsible, or I'm sorry, substance use is responsible for 11.8 million deaths annually. So that's 1 in 5 deaths globally. And I, heard all these statistics. I took this workshop in the beginning of February, and it was geared around emotions. And when they started off with all these statistics, I was just in shock at the sheer number of people that are suffering. And then by the end of that workshop, it went a whole week. That's when I found out about my friend's son. And that's when it really hit home for me. It's like you can hear about numbers, but then when it kind of happens in your bubble of people that it just makes it that much more real. And so that's why I think it's really important. And I feel really passionate about teaching about emotions and how they work in our body and what we can do, and how essential oils can come in and play a role to help us kind of release them. So I wanted to start with that before I got too deep in. And so, yeah. So then one other thing I want to mention is we've got emotions. They're the chemical responses that occur within the body to both internal and external stimuli. And then there's our feelings that are the conscious experience sparked by emotions, by shaped by our perception. And then there's thoughts. And thoughts are in a constant flow in our minds. And perceptions and emotions and the chemical reactions of emotions interact with the thoughts we're having. So you can see how this kind of makes things kind of murky. And then just to add on to that, we have, just on average, about 70,000 thoughts a day. Just a few. So there's a lot happening. Um, and when you think of the body, we have the mind, the heart, and the gut. And so do you ever hear, or, do you ever think about like when you're going to do something and you get nervous and you get that like butterfly feeling in your stomach? That's your body kind of processing that nervous energy, or thinking about something that maybe touches your heart and maybe you feel a little warmness in your chest. But that is where, the emotions are flowing through our body. And I liked this picture here because it says the three brains. The three brains communicate with each other, they feed back to and therefore influence the mind. So the mind is where we have our logic and intellect, although the subconscious mind directs over, 90% of our behavior. That's a huge amount. Then we have our heart, our intuition, and there are more neural pathways that run from the heart to the brain than run to the brain to the heart. I think that's also really interesting. And then we've got our gut. And our gut produces 90% of our body's serotonin and other feel good chemicals. So when you think about the type of food that we eat in this country and how we're not necessarily the healthiest, that gut health is definitely going to impact the way our mind responds and our heart, just because so much of the feel good chemicals that we're kind of missing these days is being produced in the gut. Something else that I find really interesting is all of our organs have scent receptors, and the heart actually has the most scent receptors of all the organs. So just kind of little trivia for you. That's also why applying oils over the heart can be really powerful. So then, just to break this down a little more, if you think about, life experience, maybe, your dog's barking at you, your child's crying, maybe you're stuck in traffic, the car's behind you is honking, and you're processing all that like, oh my gosh, I need to get where I'm going, I'm running late, I'm overwhelmed, I'm stuck. And then you have a reaction. Maybe it's head tension, maybe you get a stomach ache, or maybe you just feel really conflicted. And then that creates a belief. And sometimes we're not always saying the most positive things to ourselves. And the more that kind of repeat this step of a life experience or processing reaction, it is actually forming a belief. And those sometimes are what we need to weed out of our garden. Got one more note here on that somewhere. So what was I going to say about that? Weed the garden. Lost my train of thought already. But I'm saying really positive things to myself right now, like, Linda, you can do this. Um, there was something about the belief that I had written down here. It really kind of tied this all together. So beliefs. Yes, that's what it was. Okay, so our beliefs, all these, that's what it was. So the different emotions carry different frequencies. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. um, all emotions are normal. So it's really normal to have a different array of emotions. And it's how we don't want to attach judgment to the emotions. So, and again, it's kind of like forming that belief. You don't want to create a belief just because you're stressed today, thinking that, oh my gosh, I'm stressed all the time, I'm not good enough. Like we don't want to get to that point where it cements as a belief. Because when you nurture it, this is what, when you nurture a thought long enough, it becomes a belief. And that is our subconscious. That's, that subconscious going on beneath the surface there. So emotions are normal, and processing them is what we want to have the essential oils kind of help leverage us to kind of pull us out of that, um, when things start to kind of unravel. And what's really cool is there's this Dr. David R. Hawkins. He created a map of consciousness. And I was going to put a slide in about this and I ran out of time, but he created this map of consciousness, and you have all these different emotions, and like love was towards the top, and at the bottom you have like shame and guilt, and then you've got kind of everything in between. And those all carry different frequencies. So the more we can move out of like guilt and shame are obviously the lowest frequency. The more you can move out of those and stay in a higher frequency, the better it's going to be. And what's really amazing is that our essential oils have a frequency of their own, so they can kind of help elevate us when we're feeling down. Um, so yes, that is where I was going. And yes, so essential oils, they will help anchor in that healthy biochemistry and help support healthy cell function. They promote physical and emotional detox. And I think this is crazy awesome. One single drop of oil has 40 million trillion molecules. That's a lot packed into one little drop of oil. And every essential oil has its own chemical constituency. And so those chemical compounds that are in that essential oil help service our cells and body in a matter of minutes. And for that reason, it's really important to know where your essential oils are coming from and their quality. So in the market today, we have a lot of synthetic essential oils. They're popping up everywhere. Target, the dollar store. Those are going to be toxic chemical fragrances that were probably produced in a lab somewhere. If you think of cleaning products, they're always usually scented like lemon or lavender. Those are going to most often are synthetic scents that have been made in a lab. We also have food grade essential oils that are used in cooking. And then there's tested essential oils. So the essential oil industry as a whole is not regulated, so there's no governing body over all of them. But there are some other companies out there that have essential oils that do some testing. And then doTERRA wanted to make sure that we're kind of the gold standard of essential oils. So we call ours certified pure tested grade. And we work directly with our farmers and growers to get our plants where they are harvested in their natural habitat. So the soil is going to have all those rich nutrients that are going to help the plant grow. So when we distill the essential oil, it's going to have all those chemical compounds in it that should be there. And then we work with a third-party tester that does stringent testing. I forget the number of tests we do. I want to say it's upwards of 20 or 30 different tests for every oil. And we want to make sure that there's no synthetics, no pesticides, nothing harmful, nothing that shouldn't be in there. And so that they're verified pure and filler free, so that when you use an essential oil, you're going to get that therapeutic benefit that you're looking for every time you use it. And just to back up a little step in case you're new to doTERRA, doTERRA is Latin for gift of the earth. And that's what I think of the essential oils, is that they're just gifts of the earth that we get to use for our health and wellness. And we are the largest essential oil distributor in the world. doTERRA is turning 16 this Thursday, April 25th, which is really cool. And we do something called co-impact sourcing. So this is really what sets us apart from other companies. Nobody can really recreate what we've done. Is we work directly with the farmers and growers, and The majority of our essential oils come from underdeveloped countries. So when we go into an area, we want to see how we can lift up their community, whether they might need water or clean water or schools for their children or clinics. So we want to make sure that they're taken care of. And then they grow these beautiful plants that then we get to use for our health and wellness. So it's really benefiting both sides of the bottle. Another thing that we do with co-impact sourcing is that we want to make sure that we're practicing sustainable practices for the earth. So some of our essential oils actually, I love this, they come from kind of the byproducts left over from other industries. So for example, our black spruce oil we get from the boreal forest. And when they take trees down, they shear off all the branches and twigs and needles and leave this giant pile behind. Well, the earth can't break down that giant pile of twigs and, all the pine needles that are left behind. So what we do is we take that and we have a closed loop, meaning that we take the plant material, distill the oil, and then burn off the rest. So we're actually creating the energy to distill the oil. And I just love that about that. And that's just one of many stories. We have an amazing website called sourcetoyou.com that has on it stories of how we source our oils, stories of some of the families that grow our plants, and then some of those stories about how we're using sustainability in our practices of distilling oils. So it's a really cool website. I encourage you to check it out. And then also all of our essential oils, the single oils, will have a lot number on the bottom. And when you go to that website, sourcetoyou.com, you can enter the lot number that's on the bottom of your bottle of essential oil, and it will actually show you the testing that's done on the oils. So if that is of interest to you, that is available. Some of that science goes over my head, I'm not going to lie, but I'm glad that it's there for those that are interested. And then also we have an amazing foundation called the Healing Hands Foundation. That website is doTERRAHealingHands.org. And we do lots of humanitarian work. And we're really our mission is to empower people worldwide to be healthy, safe, and self-reliant. So there's all kinds of great projects going on there that you can donate to on all of your doTERRA orders too. You can always add a couple of dollars to go towards the Healing Hands Foundation as well. So now back to our oils and how we can use them to help our emotional health. I'm just going to go over the 3 different ways to use essential oils. And what's really amazing is that aromatherapy is the fastest way to affect a mood. So just putting some oils in a diffuser can uplift the whole house. I always tell people that if you've got a crabby house, just sneak some citrus oils in the diffuser, turn it on, and watch everyone's mood kind of turn around. Inhaling essential oils can also help connect you deeper to your body. And the nose has a direct route to the olfactory bulb in the limbic system of your brain. And that's where we store all of our memories and emotions. So if you think back to perhaps when you smell something baking in the oven, it reminds you of being a child, maybe cooking with your mom or your grandparents. And that brings up that memory. It's because it's that limbic system that's storing all of those memories. And that's why it can help shift the mood. And what I like to tell people to do when you're, so you can use the oil in a diffuser, you can also take a drop of oil in your palm, and this can also be really powerful. People always ask me what is the best oil for anxious feelings, and I tend to believe that any oil is good for that, because what I suggest is that you take a drop in your palms, rub your palms together, and take a nice deep breath in. And I encourage people to inhale for a count of 4, then hold for 4, and then breathe out for 4. And that will help you to feel calmer. And you can do that until you start to feel more calm and collected. And the reason why I think any essential oil can help with those anxious feelings, because I think anytime you're being really intentional with taking a drop of oil in your palms and really taking some deep breaths, You're helping your central nervous system to just calm down. And I think that's how we tend to get all wrapped up in those anxious feelings, is just kind of like, there's not enough time, there's too many things going on, there's so much coming at us, but to just take a minute to really be with your breath and breathe in some oil can just kind of help calm you down. The second way to use essential oils is topically. And what I love about the essential oils is they work wherever you've got something going on. So if you have made yourself kind of nervous and you have that nervous tummy, maybe perhaps it's causing some digestive problems now, you can just take some oil and rub it over your stomach. So something like peppermint or our Digest Zen blend, fennel, ginger, wild orange is even really good for that. You can just rub those right over your belly. And then over the heart too, if you're feeling sad or down, placing some oil again, just taking a drop on your palms, rubbing it over your heart, or putting it on the insides of your wrists or the pulse points behind your ears can be really helpful. And then um, perhaps you've been staring at a computer screen all day and you're feeling lots of tension because you have a lot of deadlines, lots of things weighing down on you. Applying something to your forehead and the back of your neck can be really helpful too. There's a few things to keep in mind when you're using oils topically, and that is you want to stay away from getting them in your eyes or ears directly. If you do happen to get essential oil in your eye, you would want to use something that's got some fat to it. So, like a carrier oil, like um, coconut oil or olive oil, just dab it on a tissue and just kind of dab at your eye. If you use water, water and oil don't mix, so it's going to kind of propel that oil into your eye a little bit more and be a little more uncomfortable. Um, Another thing that I like to do when I use oils topically is to dilute them. Because our oils are so potent and powerful, you only need 1 to 2 drops. And when you use a little bit of coconut oil, we use fractionated coconut oil, which is liquid at room temperature. It helps you to get it over larger areas. So perhaps if you're rubbing some over your heart, just a drop or two and just a drop or two of fractionated coconut oil can kind of help, or over your stomach um, as well. And then on the slide here, we have grief listed under topical application here. And you can see that's actually a bottle of Breathe. That didn't come through very clearly. But Breathe is our respiratory blend. And feelings of grief get trapped in our lungs. So Breathe would be a really great one to apply over your chest to kind of help with supporting some emotional cleansing, or just kind of helping lessen that feeling of grief and help with respiratory function. Since grief is listed here, there's a few other oils that I kind of reach for when it comes to grief, and those are geranium, rose, marjoram, helichrysum. Those can all be really helpful with grief as well. So again, just applying them over your chest or over your heart, or even just going back to just using it aromatically and breathing it in can kind of help with those feelings of grief. All right, and then one more thing about using oils topically is citrus oils are photosensitive. So since we're moving into the summer and we're going to see the sun a little bit more, you want to be careful if you're using citrus oils topically, because when you're exposed to sun, you can burn easier. So you want to use citrus oils maybe like on the bottom of your feet, or just somewhere where you might have clothing covering your skin. So that is using oils topically. And the third way to use essential oils is internally. And again, going back to the quality of doTERRA, topical and internal use, I trust doTERRA because I know they're pure and potent. Other brands that you might find at the store, you can even sometimes read the bottles and want to say don't use topically. And I'm always like, it's a plant. Or don't take internally. Then I'm like, what's in there? So that can just kind of be a little red flag, but these 3 ways are safe to use for doTERRA's essential oils. And one more thing I've thought about topical use is that some of our oils can be a little hot on the skin. So oils like oregano, cinnamon, clove, thyme, those are very hot oils, so you would always want to dilute those if you're going to use them topically. Some oils are very cooling, like peppermint kind of gives you a little cool tingling sensation, but just a couple things to be aware. When in doubt, dilute your oils. And then the third way is internal use. So what's really great about our oils is that on the bottle, it'll have a supplement facts box if you can take it internally. And if you can't take it internally, it won't have that box. So some of the essential oils just don't really serve their best use being taken internally. Um, and they just don't, they work better used aromatically or topically. But that little supplement facts box on the bottle will kind of be your key if you can take it internally. And take it internally might look like putting some citrus oils in your water. It can be very refreshing. It can also help cleanse the body on the inside. You can also put oils in a little gel cap. We sell some empty gel capsules that you can put, a couple drops of oil and then take it like a pill. And you can also just take drops of oil right under your tongue. So I lately have been taking a couple drops of frankincense internally every day. Frankincense is a great oil to help with cellular health. And it's also it's kind of when in doubt, use frankincense. So when you don't know what to use, it's a great oil to reach for. But on the slide here, it shows our On Guard. And On Guard is a great one to take internally as well. And it's our protection blend. So that's going to help support your immune system and also gives you emotional strength. So like I was mentioning, each of the oils have, they work on our physical body and they work on our emotional body. And each essential oil is tied to different emotions. And our On Guard is our protection blend. So I also think of it as a protection for myself emotionally. We also have a blend called TerraShield that's kind of like our insect repellent blend. And I think of TerraShield as my earth shield. And my husband and I were just somewhere. We were in a waiting room and there was someone who was very distressed and very upset and yelling. And I carry TerraShield in my purse. And I just put a little bit on my palms and was just kind of like rubbing around our bodies just to kind of give us that shield that, we're protecting our energy. So just really neat that each of the oils have all these different ways of helping us. And then also, it's important that when we're supporting our healthy emotions, of course, all the other things that we do for ourselves are still important. So increasing your water intake, making sure that you're getting exercise and movement, that you're resting or meditating, and working on improving your diet. Which made me think of something else. I was at an appointment for myself for some self-care, and I think it was in the winter, and the practitioner I was seeing at the time was like, Glenda, you really need to get out and move every day. And I was like, I know, I sometimes struggle with that, but like he said, no, when you sit, your thoughts can get stuck because when you go walking, you're actually moving. And so the thoughts and emotions will kind of flow more. But if you stay real still all the time, nothing's happening. So you kind of get caught in that stinking thinking because you're not moving through it. You're just kind of sitting with it. So I just want to add a little caveat to making sure that you're getting some movement in, because that's real important at helping you move through your emotions. All right, so next I wanted to highlight some of doTERRA's amazing blends. We have a whole emotional aromatherapy line. And before I dive into that, there was one other thing I wanted to mention about breathing in essential oils. So when we breathe in an essential oil, it's actually interrupting our thoughts. So again, it's kind of pulling us out of that fight or flight, if you will, and helping us kind of find our balance. And for that reason, it can help interrupt old emotional response patterns. So when you do find yourself stuck in, something, grabbing an essential oil and smelling it can kind of help to pull you out of that. And then that also helps your brain to create a new neural pathway. So you're creating a new way forward and kind of letting go of the old way that isn't working. And something that I like to work on with people is helping them pair an aroma that I'll blend, I'll do custom blends for people, but also just some of these blends that I'm about to go over can help be a way to anchor. So it's called aroma anchors, aromatic anchors. So you're anchoring a new thought to this aroma. So then every time you smell it, you're reminding yourself of that. So I'll help pair like an affirmation with the oil for people. And that's kind of some of what the emotion coaching is doing as well that I'm learning, is that it's about identifying what emotion we want to let go of and then filling that spot with something new and better, or something that's going to move us forward, and then pairing it with an affirmation. So then every time you smell the oil, you can say the affirmation out loud or read it, and it just really kind of sets that anchor for being able to move to a new way of being and thinking. So then on to doTERRA's oil blends here. So the emotional aromatherapy line has 6 oil blends in it. The first one is Console, and this blend is kind of a mix between some floral and tree oils, and it's going to give you, it feels like a warm blanket. Tell you what's in the blend here. But this is another great one for grief as well. Oh, that wasn't listed here. Oh. So the Console blend. And these come in a 5 ml bottle, and they also come in a rollerball diluted. So this is one that I like to use topically. Again, I would be putting it over heart. Tell you what's in it here. So the Console blend. Oh, it's not listed there either. Well, it's got some amazing oils in it. Don't have it handy in front of me. But I know lavender is in there and some tree oils. It's got kind of a sweet, musky, floral scent to it, and can be really helpful in times of loss and grief, comforting the soul and evoking feelings of hope. And then the next one is Peace. And Peace has in it vetiver, lavender, and some other really grounding oils. So this one is very calming, again, kind of reassuring. And this one, I have a rollerball in my purse sometimes when I'm out in the world and you just need a little bit of that calming and grounding. I like to have those rollerballs in my purse for that. So it's also a really great one if you have trouble sleeping, to put on the bottoms of your feet or even on the bottom of your big toe. That can just help. Our big toes, the reflex point is our brain. So if your brain tends to move a mile a minute when you're trying to sleep, putting some oil on the bottom of your big toe can help quiet your mind so you can get some rest. So that is a really great one. And then also, I didn't even notice there's some diffuser blends on here. So the Peace, you could do 2 drops of Peace and 1 drop of rosemary to help focus, because the Peace is going to help kind of ground you, and then that rosemary is really good for focus. And Sleep, 2 drops of Peace and 4 drops of lavender. You could just diffuse Peace on its own as well. And then with the Console, if you need a hug, a diffuser blend, 2 drops of Console, 3 drops of Balance, which is another blend I'll talk about in a moment. And then Healing, 2 drops of Console and 2 drops of Elevation, which is an older blend that we don't have anymore. One of my absolute favorites. All right, the next 2 oils in our emotional aromatherapy line is Forgive. And sometimes we need to forgive others, and sometimes we need to forgive ourselves. So this is a really fresh, woody aroma. It's got some grass oils in it. It's got a nice herbaceous, fresh, woody smell. And this is a great one to apply over your liver we tend to hold on to anger in our liver, so applying forgive over the liver can be really good. Again, or also placing it over your heart. And then if you wanted to diffuse it, a couple of drops of forgive with a couple of drops of balance, or forgive and lime if you need to let something go. Oh, just a few times I've need to let some things go. So this can be a great blend to just kind of counteract negative emotions that may arise. And then passion. Passion is our inspiring blend. This is a really great one to apply if you're going to be start working on a project, that you need to kind of infuse some passion into. It can also help with creativity and kind of that joyfulness. This is a great one to put on the pulse points or again over the heart. Passion has like cinnamon in it and some clove. So it's got kind of the spicy notes and it's also very warm and rich. And some diffuser blends ideas for this one is 2 drops of passion or 3 drops of grapefruit, or passion potion, 3 drops of console and 2 drops of cinnamon. I bet that was supposed to be passion. Oopsie. All right, and so then the last two in our emotional aromatherapy line is our Motivate. This is going to be a blend of citrus and mints. So there's some peppermint in there, some wild orange. There's a hint of vanilla in there, I believe, as well. So it's just going to be a really nice, fresh, clean, minty smell. This is a great one to put on, perhaps maybe before a workout or in the morning if you need that little nudge to kind of get going. It's just a really bright, bright aroma that's going to help you get things moving. And then cheer. This can be a great one if you're feeling down. Again, this also has like clove and some other spices in it, but it's also really fresh and warming. This is a great one for creating a positive and energizing environment. Great one to diffuse to brighten your day or wear as a personal aroma. Again, just putting like on your pulse points. This one also does have some citrus in it, so you want to be mindful of the sun, and so does Motivate. So you want to be careful about using these ones topically if you're going to go out in the sun. These are both just really bright and kind of bring that playfulness back into the day. Then when it comes to emotions, balance is one that I reach for almost every day. It's our grounding blend. And this one has in it spruce leaf, whole wood, frankincense, blue tansy, blue chamomile, and osmanthus, and a base of coconut oil. So this one is already pre-diluted. And it's just a really nice one to start your day off with, putting on the bottoms of your feet, just helping you feel grounded. Great one to put again on your pulse points, on your wrists, or behind your ears. This is another one that I carry in my purse all the time. And it's got kind of an airy, fresh, sweet, woody aroma. And then Serenity is our restful blend. And I like to diffuse this one at night in my bedroom. It's got lavender, cedarwood, hoe wood, ylang ylang, marjoram, Roman chamomile, vetiver, vanilla, and sandalwood. So it's got a really nice blend of kind of those tree oils and some florals. It's just a very soothing blend. This is, again, a great spot to put essential oils is actually the bottom of your feet. This one you can also take a drop in your palms and just rub your palms on your pillow so then you can smell it, or have it in a diffuser. This would also be great to put with some Epsom salts in a bath. And then I had a recipe on here, but I took it out because it seemed a little redundant. But taking Balance and Serenity both together, you can make your own roller ball. You can kind of call it like liquid calm if you wanted, but doing like in a 10 ml roller ball, maybe like 20 drops of Balance and 20 drops of Serenity, and then filling the rest with fractionated coconut oil. It makes a really nice blend, just again to help soothe those stressful moments. And then I could not leave out Adaptive. So Adaptive is a blend that doTERRA created specifically for stress and anxious feelings. And this blend includes wild orange, lavender, copaiba, spearmint, magnolia, rosemary, neroli, and sweet gum. It smells fabulous. And we have 3 different products with it. So first we have the 15 ml bottle, which is great. If you like to diffuse oils a lot, you would want to go that route. Then it also comes in a roller ball that's pre-diluted with fractionated coconut oil. And again, that's another one that, yep, you bet is in my purse. My purse weighs 1,000 pounds because it's full of oils. But I like to be prepared. So adaptive, I find that I reach for that one sometimes when I'm driving. I can be a little bit of an anxious driver, you know, people on the roads kind of sometimes stress me out. So I'll reach for that one and just roll it on my pulse points and find that I'm a little bit calmer behind the wheel. And then we also have adaptive calming capsules. And the capsules have some essential oils in it. So, like, there's lavender in the capsules. It also contains, oh, it contains GABA, which is really important for our brains. It also contains ahi flower and scaledium root. And all of those things are very soothing. This is really about, keeping your central nervous system calm. So I take one of these a day. And I've started taking it in the evening with my dinner because I find that it helps to calm me down for the evening. There have been times when I've taken actually two a day, so one in the morning and one at night. It can just really help kind of smooth out some of those rough edges that we kind of tend to carry around with us. Um, it was after my dad passed. I was taking two of those a day, one in the morning and one in the night, and I just found that it really helped. Just really kind of gave me another tool in my toolbox, if you will, to just kind of help keep my emotions cool. And yeah, I love to diffuse adaptive, and I love that roller ball. So this is a really nice combo to help with our emotions as well. And I've got one more blend here, and this one is rather new, and this is called Shinrin Yoku. That's our forest bathing blend. And doTERRA is doing a lot of research around forest bathing, our Shinrin Yoku blend. Because in Japan, I think it was around the 80s, they started doing some research around people being out in nature and how it helped their health and well-being. And, so much of our current lifestyles are indoors and away from nature. And we really need nature because that helps ground us and balance us. So when there's times when you can't, go bathe in the forest, you can bring the forest bathing to you with Shinrin Yoku. So what they did was the trees in the forest, well, all plants breathe out these phyto what's the word? I can't remember, but they breathe out something that we breathe in that is helpful to us. And in this blend, what they've done is matched what the trees are breathing out. I want to say it's phytocytokines. Don't quote me on that, but it's some big word. Anyway, the it's a symbiotic relationship that we have with nature because we breathe out what they need and they breathe out what we need. And this blend with these oils in it, lemon, patchouli, magnolia leaf, Siberian fir, cypress, cardamom, hinoki, lavandin, grapefruit, geranium, and lemon petitgrain, they combine what it would be like walking in the forest. So when we're breathing this in, it's like we're out in nature breathing it in. There's been some research that's not yet published on it, but it hopefully will be coming soon about amazing effects that it's having by diffusing it for 8 hours a day in your home can change up a lot of things that might be happening here that you want to see smooth out. It's very calming and grounding and refreshing, a very inspiring aroma. I actually, at night in our bedroom, have been diffusing Shinrin Yoku. I put about 4 drops of that, and then I put about 4 drops of Serenity. And that also just makes a really nice soothing blend. So we're breathing in all that nature at night and getting the restfulness from Serenity as well. And it makes for a wonderful night's sleep. So I can't speak highly enough of this blend. It's absolutely beautiful. It also comes in a 15 ml bottle and in a roller ball that has already been diluted with some coconut oil. And then one more piece that I wanted to mention, because at the beginning, remember I mentioned that 90% of our body's serotonin and other feel-good chemicals are produced in the gut. So doTERRA has some amazing supplements. We have our Lifelong Vitality Pack, and all of our supplements are infused with essential oils, of course. And our Lifelong Vitality Pack contains daily support with minerals, micronutrients, and healthy fats. So you've got omegas. The alpha CRS in there is a great cellular nutrient. The Microplex VMZ is our multivitamin, just a really great foundational support for your health. We also now have collagen, which is absolutely incredible. I've been taking that for the last couple months and noticed a huge difference in my energy. We also have, if you do have some digestive troubles, we have our Cleanse and Restore kit that can help kind of cleanse your gut and repopulate it with the good bacteria. So, and that is our Terrazyme, that's our digestive enzyme, our PB Assist, which is our probiotic, and our GX Assist, which is more the cleansing part of that. And then also, like I mentioned, our adaptive system can help with kind of creating a stress-free and anxious-free body. And we also have turmeric capsules that are great for helping reduce inflammation. So just some other pieces of the puzzle that are our foundational support that we really need to help with our body. And I really liked this quote: "The body sheds the tears the eyes refuse to shed." And I just thought that was really kind of touching, thinking about, if we're not crying and letting those things go, the body finds a way to kind of, when your body starts talking to you, it's trying to tell you something. Um, so we want to be listening and help it move through that. So it's a lot of information. Just got a few more things about how to get started. If you are new to doTERRA and new to essential oils, we have some amazing kits that are bundled together for extra savings. I put on here the emotional aromatherapy line. So it comes in either the 5 ml bottles there in that beautiful purple box, or you can get them in the roller balls, the emotional aromatherapy touch line. And then also we have our Aroma Essentials kit. It comes with a beautiful diffuser that's in that photo there. And some of the blends that come in the Aroma Essentials kit are the Adaptive comes in there, our Breathe, On Guard, a couple of the blends that I mentioned tonight, Serenity. So that's a nice combo for getting started. You can also create your own bundle of some of the things that I talked about tonight, like the adaptive system and maybe the Shinrin Yoku. If some of those things spoke to you, you can also create your own bundle to get started. There is no fee for starting. The fee is waived, and then you get wholesale pricing, which is 25% off retail. And it's just a really great way to get some essential oils into your home. And then tonight, if you're joining us or watching this recording this month in April 2024, there are some freebies for getting started. I'm doing something called Silver Club. So that doTERRA has kind of given me some freebies to pass on to you. So if you start with a 100 PV order, everything has a point value. You'll get a free lavender touch. And then if your order is 150 PV or more, you'll get the lavender touch, plus you get to choose a free gift. We have a diffuser. We have toothpaste with essential oils in it, which is fabulous. And we also have a citrus bloom foaming hand wash, which is lovely with the dispenser. So you get to choose one of those gifts. And then if your order happens to be over 200 PV, you get all those, plus you'll get a bottle of our Citrus Bliss, which is another amazing blend, great for uplifting your spirit. So that you will need a promo code for. Just message me or the person who passed this video on to you, and I'll be able to get you that code, and we can get you started. And then one other thing I wanted to mention is this book that has been my absolute favorite book that I've ever gotten with my essential oil journey, and that's our essential emotions. And the people that created this book are also the ones leading the essential emotions, emotional coaching training that I'm working towards. And in this book, they also have an app. I have the app on my phone as well. It's really great because it breaks down every essential oil. So you can look at either the oil or the blend of doTERRA's, and it will tell you what emotions those oils help with. So that really kind of helps to give you some insight. And in the back of the book and on the app as well, you can also look at your body. So if your body is telling you something like you've got terrible stomach ache, you can look up stomach in the app or in the book, and that will kind of clue you into what emotions you might be holding in that area, and then also suggest oils. So it's kind of like a little decoder. If you're trying to figure out what's happening in your body, I always reach for this book. Maybe you've got knee pain. You can look up knee and see what does the knee mean in terms of our whole body, and what could that be trying to tell you about your emotions. Maybe it's something that you just dealt with this week at work that upset you, and all of a sudden you have low back pain and you're wondering why. Well, it's those emotions that just get stuck in places, and that's why it's real important to pay attention to what our body is trying to tell us, because the sooner you can kind of pick up on that and maybe use an oil or an affirmation to help kind of move through that, you might notice that the pain goes away. Um, so it's something that I work a lot with on people, is just kind of helping them find where they're holding things in their body and how they can let them go. So I wanted to mention that resource. And again, it's the Essential Emotions app, and it is available for both Apple and Android. But then also the book Essential Emotions, I believe it is available on Amazon. Um, Otherwise, I believe their website is essentialemotions.com, and you can order it from them as well. So wanted to mention that resource. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope that you found something in this to be helpful, and I hope that it helps you with your emotions, or perhaps you can help someone else with their emotional well-being from something that you learned tonight. And thank you so much for being with me.
Thank you so much for your presentation, and